do another reacting to dumb Facebook groups posts on the internet. As I've said before, Facebook groups are one of the dumbest places you can ask people, especially when it comes to performance modification. You can ask about, let me look at your wheels, let me look at paint, let me look at your floor mat. The non-performance essential thing, that's fine. But for serious performance inquiries, again, groups are one of the dumbest places you can ask, because basically it's the blind leading the blind. You don't know anything, your group mates don't know anything. But sometimes occasionally we get amazing responses like this. So this is the question that was asked. It's over here. I'll translate for those who are not in the Philippines. Sir, ask ko lang po sana ano advantage at disadvantage ng car remapping. Safe ba sa ECU in the long run? Thank you. Salamat po. Sirs, I'd like to ask what's the advantage and disadvantage of remapping? Is it safe for the ECU in the long run? Thank you. Then we get responses like this dude. Let's start with this guy. Renald Castillo says, the only time you need to remap is when you change the exhaust intake if all stock manufacturers have already configured for optimum fuel efficiency. So if you remap stock, definitely increase in fuel. Remember, more power means more fuel. Speed lab claims fuel efficiency because lower RPM at the same speed. This is bullshit. Bullshit now. Then we have this other dude. Marco Ramio says, stock configuration ay ginawa sa factory for balanced fuel efficiency, performance and longevity. If you remap, you'll increase the performance, but babaksak ang dalawa. So both will go down. Performance and efficiency will go down. It's that simple. If you're just gonna go traveling, you don't need to do anything except to look for the stock setting. But if you're gonna go racing, go for Rio to increase performance. And don't think about the gas consumption, or don't think about engine performance, or engine life rather. Okay, let's tackle this one by one. So the first comment from Renald, which is this one again. No, absolutely not true. You don't need to change anything to remap a stock car. You can remap a 1000% stock car. This is regards, by the way, to, I think this is a Montero club. So, yes, Montero, Fortuner, D-Max, Ranger. Basically, any turbo diesel now, you can remap 100% stock. And you will get about 40-50 horses more. And no, you are not stressing the engine. Most people fail to understand that 40 horses, that 50 horses only happens at full throttle and at 3,500 or 600 RPM. If you're not meeting those two conditions, your engine is not making full power at all. Most people say, oh, I travel at 150, 160. Speed is also not important when it comes to power. The important thing is, what RPM are you at 160? How much pedal are you pressing? Again, if it's not pedal to the floor and it's not 3,600 RPM, you're not using the full power of your engine. In fact, here's a head scratcher. 99.99% of everything that everybody drives out there is not utilizing the engine's full power. Even supercars do not utilize all 700 horses in a Lamborghini all the time, because most of your driving is done, well, in the street, in traffic. If you're only doing about 60 kilometers per hour and 10-15% pedal, your engine is only making 15-20 horsepower, nowhere near its maximum capable limit. And mechanically wise, another 40-50 horses will not hurt that iron block engine in your diesel car, or even the aluminum engine in a Civic or a Corolla, because we're able to turbocharge these cars to 50-60 horses without any loss in engine life, because again, you're not at full power all the time. And mechanically, it's built to handle it. How do we know? Well, over the 16 years we've existed, of course, we've blown up a couple of engines, so we know what the limits are. And then we also hear from other chops, oh, this engine blew up at 400 horses, 300 horses, so on and so forth. This component breaks at this amount of power. So we know. You don't know, but we do. And if one shop has done it, it's like rumor. We'll know about it. So this Reynolds guy is a moron. Doesn't know what he's talking about. And he says, more power means more fuel. Nope, not true also. Okay, let me clarify. Yes, it's true, again, at full throttle and at full pedal, and when you want the maximum power. And at that point, if you really need power, fuel consumption doesn't matter anymore. But for, again, so for that part that you're driving from idle to about 2,000, 2,500 RPM, yes, we inject a little more fuel, but it is not, let's say, it's not commensurate to the power you get. So let's say the power you get is this much. The amount of fuel added is only this much. Because it's, again, it's not just as simple as fuel and air going into the engine. We have things that we adjust, like injector timing. We also adjust boost. We also adjust the map sensor and the map sensor. So it's not just one single adjustment. So let's say, for numerically, you get 10 horses more for 1% more fuel. And what that happens actually is that after remapping, when you step on the pedal, pretty much the reaction is, oh, it's fast. A lot faster than I expected. Your right foot unconsciously lets go of the pedal because you already got the speed you want earlier. And the reason why most people complain about the delay and then how it's hard to drive is they step on it, no power. Nothing. They step on it deeper, then they get the power they want. So that delay of about a few seconds compared to that half second after remapping, that is significant. And the less effort or the less pedal that you have to press, the more your fuel economy. So less pedal equals less consumption. That is why remapping saves you the fuel normally about 8 to 10%. So this is one part he doesn't understand because I can forgive him. He doesn't have access to what we see on the computer. So on to the next guy, this Marco guy. Stock configuration is meant for balance, efficiency, performance, and longevity. That is true. You have everything stock from the factory. You know what? Let's give a better example. Your phone. If this is perfect from the factory, why the hell do we have, well, I particularly have a thick battery case because it's not adequate for my use. If it's great from the factory, why do we have an app store? If it's great from the factory, why do we have attachments that you can buy in Shopee to make this a wide angle lens? If it's great from the factory, why in the world do you even need a case to protect it? See the logic? There will always be things now, well, even before, there will be always things that people will do to improve the products that they have bought. It's that simple. And the biggest example for this one is the entire automotive aftermarket industry, which has existed since the first automobile was born. People want to make it go faster, look better, paint it a different color, have bigger tires and everything. There you go, tires. Why would you want another tire instead of just what the factory spec? Because you want to have choice. It might be cheaper, it might be bigger, it might be wider. Again, no car is immune to kalikot. So he also says that if you want to go racing, then you remap. Also not true. 99% of people who go in through those gates do not race, despite what our name says. Most of our customers do not race at all. They've never been to the racetrack, will never go to the racetrack. They just want a car that's more powerful. Then there goes the other reasoning. Why do you need a more powerful car when you have all this traffic in the city? Going by that logic, then Ferrari should not sell anything anymore because their cars will never be driven to the full potential in the city. Toyota should stick to a 1-liter engine in the Wigo for everything that it does because there's no need for more power. And a Wigo goes around the city just fine. So the argument for having not a lot of power is already out the window right then and there. And what else did he say? Kung mabiyahe ka naman, wag nang hanapin sa stock setting. If you're just gonna travel out of town, long distance, you don't need anything more than stock setting. True, you don't need anything more, but the thing is, you want more. And everybody that has done the remap, goes to north or south, has a better and more enjoyable drive. It's that simple. Makes the car a lot more fun to drive, especially on those little roads where you have to overtake 1, 2 tricycles in front of you. And again, let's go back to the whole less pedal equals less consumption. So that's what happens also when you travel long distance. Your foot is resting on the pedal very, very lightly. Maybe 5% input, 8% pedal. And you're doing about 140, 150, which is actually over the speed limit already anyway, at 5th or 6th gear. That is actually a very, very fuel efficient way of traveling. You have and your RPM is barely 2,000 RPM. What you want to happen is you have the highest speed possible at the highest gear possible with the least amount of pedal. This is what gets you good fuel economy. So, to Marco and Renald, sorry boys, you're now YouTube famous, and no, you cannot sue me because these are posted in a public forum where for everybody to see. It's not a private message, so you can go ask your lawyers too.